The kind among us face a peculiar torment. They forgive because they believe forgiveness demonstrates strength. They've been taught that grace is the highest virtue. And yet, with each act of forgiveness, something inside them withers. They feel smaller. They feel exploited. They feel as though something irreplaceable has been taken from them, not just in the moment, but cumulatively, across years of offering mercy to those who never earned it. Most people never examine the mechanism of their own destruction. They assume the problem lies elsewhere, in the cruelty of others, in a world that punishes kindness. But Friedrich Nietzsche saw through this comfortable delusion. He understood something our modern culture has entirely forgotten, that the way we forgive is not neutral. It is not passive. It is a choice that shapes who we become at the deepest level. Forgiveness, when applied indiscriminately, is not nobility. It is a slow erasure of yourself. Every time you forgive the wrong thing, you lose something far more valuable than temporary peace. You lose your dignity. You lose your edge. You lose the psychological fortress that protects your autonomy and self-respect. Nietzsche discovered 4 specific acts of disrespect that must never be forgiven. Not because forgiveness is wrong in itself, but because these violations are declarations of war against your fundamental right to exist with dignity. The first is public humiliation. This is not a joke at your expense. Not a clumsy comment made in haste. Public humiliation is calculated. Someone intentionally makes you look foolish in front of others, knowing exactly what they are doing. The moment they do it, they send a message, not just to you, but to everyone watching. Your status is mine to lower. Your reputation is mine to damage. You are beneath me. This is why it is so dangerous. It is not about emotional pain, though that is real. It is about power. The person humiliating you is not expressing anger. They are demonstrating dominance. Nietzsche called this the will to power, the fundamental drive to assert strength over others. When someone humiliates you publicly, they are not making a mistake. They are exercising their will at the direct expense of yours. If you forgive that act, you validate their assessment. You teach everyone in that room exactly how to treat you moving forward. A strong individual does not absorb blows to their honor silently. They respond with absence, with withdrawal, with one clear message: you no longer have access to me. Never forgive the person who tries to shrink you in front of others. They did not simply disrespect you. They declared war on your place in the social world. The second act is deliberate lying. A deliberate lie is not a mistake or misunderstanding. It is a choice. Someone constructs a false version of reality and delivers it directly to you, knowing you will believe them because you trust them. Lies are not about information. Lies are about control. When someone lies to you intentionally, they take away your ability to make real choices based on reality. That is a profound act of violence against your autonomy. Nietzsche believed that facing reality, even brutal reality, was the mark of a strong soul. Lying was the refuge of the weak. But here is the dark psychology most people miss. When you forgive a deliberate lie, you signal that your relationship with reality is flexible. You tell the liar something terrifying, that they can rewrite your world whenever it suits them. Over time, you lose your grip on what is real. You begin doubting your own perceptions. Slowly, you hand over the keys to your own mind. Never forgive the deliberate liar. Not because you are bitter, but because your sanity depends on protecting the boundary between truth and manipulation. The third act is gaslighting. This is the one almost everyone tolerates. It feels small, feels petty, feels like you would be overreacting to call it out. And that is precisely why it is the most dangerous. Gaslighting works like this. Someone does something hurtful, you call it out, and they respond, "You are overreacting, that never happened, you are too sensitive, you are crazy." They are not denying the action. They are denying your perception of it. They are attacking your sanity itself. Nietzsche called this psychological slavery. The master-slave dynamic is not about physical force. It is about who gets to define reality. When you allow someone to convince you that your own perceptions cannot be trusted, you surrender the most fundamental human power, the power to know what you know. Gaslighting is infinitely more destructive than lying. A lie misinforms you. Gaslighting makes you doubt your ability to be informed at all. Nietzsche built his entire philosophy on self-trust. You cannot become who you are if you are perpetually questioning your own instincts, your own memory, your own pain. The person who gaslights you is not confused. They are conquering you from the inside out. Never forgive the person who tries to rewrite your reality. Your mind is the only thing that is truly yours. The fourth act is calculated betrayal, not the accidental kind, not a heat-of-the-moment mistake. Calculated betrayal is cold and deliberate, when someone sacrifices you to gain something for themselves. A promotion, social approval, an escape from consequences. They weighed you against their benefit and chose themselves. Knowingly, deliberately. Nietzsche saw this as the herd instinct turned toxic. When an individual betrays you for personal gain, they are not protecting anyone. They are using you as a stepping stone. And that reveals exactly what you are to them, a resource, not a person. Trust is not a feeling. Trust is a risk calculation. When you trust someone, you give them a weapon and hope they never use it. Betrayal proves they will. If you forgive calculated betrayal, you teach that person the exact price of your trust, and they now know it is cheaper than their ambition. They will do it again, not because they are evil, but because you showed them there are no real consequences. Never forgive calculated betrayal, not out of anger, but out of clarity. They told you who they are. Believe them, and walk away. Let us be honest for a moment. Forgiveness can be beautiful. It can free you. It can heal wounds that would otherwise fester forever. The world needs people who can forgive. But forgiving everything is not wisdom. It is sometimes a profound form of self-abandonment. Nietzsche spent his entire intellectual life warning against this, the tyranny of false compassion, of pretending all actions deserve equal grace. Some disrespect is not a mistake. It is a message. And the message is always the same. You do not matter enough to treat with care. The respect others give you depends entirely on the respect you give yourself. And that self-respect is not built by forgiving everyone who steps on you. It is built through your boundaries. It is built by showing, through your absence, that stepping on you has a cost. Some things deserve your forgiveness. Some people deserve a second chance. But some things deserve only your distance. Not your revenge. Not your hatred. Just your silence. Just the quiet, powerful truth that you have better things to do than teach people how to treat you twice. That is Nietzsche's dark psychology. And it is the rule that will set you free. Now ask yourself honestly, have you forgiven any of these four? And more importantly, what are you going to do about it?